finally found myself. All right, welcome to my Craft Around the Clock segment. I'm Yvette from Old Times Paint Parties, and tonight we're going to be painting some hydrangeas. So before we came on here, I was just putting this background on, getting this started anyway. Hi, Karina. So I'm not sure if I'm live over in the YouTube as well. I added it, but I'm not sure if it's live over there or not. But it should be. So we're being shared over into the Craft Around the Clock group as well. All right, so let me just get my little turntable here, my little. All righty, so this is what we're working on tonight. And hopefully that's not too distracting with that goose in the background there. Let's see if we can throw a piece of cardboard down under it so we don't get paint all over our little goose. All right, let's throw this down here. There we go. All right, so this is where we're headed. We're just going to do some simple hydrangeas. So we have our background. I put some thicket and white down for the background. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated. Using a new program tonight, so bear with me as I learn it as well. It's similar yet different. So I just need to learn where all the buttons are. We're going to take our line drawing here and we're going to get this in place so we can get some of that based. So if you are in the Backstage VIP group, you will get this line drawing added in there later on this evening or tomorrow morning or tomorrow at some point. And this will also be available on my website. It's not a really difficult line drawing, but if you are not a drawer, it will be here for you. Well, hopefully my sound and everything is okay. I haven't seen anyone say I can't hear you. When you're used to using one program for so long, and then you switch from it to another, it's like you're a little bit like a fish out of water. You're learning where all the buttons are and all the things. So hopefully it shouldn't take me too long to do that, and then it'll be like second nature again. I'm just getting all these little leaves in place. I think I did that one out. Nope, didn't do that one yet. All right, I think we're good. So we have 4 little balls of flowers here, and then we have our leaves around. So I'm going to start working on the leaves and getting those based in as we go. Hello, Miss Sue. All right, so I'm going to just use a little bit of Hauser medium green and get these based in here. So we're here until 10:45. So we'll get as much as we can done. It's like I said, it's not a really difficult painting to do. We'll see how we make out. So for the background, I just used Thicket. It's one of my new favorite colors, and white, and just kind of slip slapped the background on there. I mean, you could do your background in any color that you want, but that is what I used in case anyone's going to paint this. And really, if you're not if you feel confident enough to freehand something like this, literally it's 4 circles and some leaves around the outside. Like, I mean, it's not hard if you wanted to freehand this little painting. But if you need the guidance, like I said, the line drawing will be available. And I'm just doing this on a, I'm going to guess this is a 4x6-ish, maybe. Nope. 6x8. You could do this in a larger format too. I just put this little Lazy Susan or turntable thing together, and I'm curious to know why I didn't do it sooner, because, you know, what a blessing to use it. So much easier to just turn your painting on here. What was I thinking? No, I didn't put I didn't put the do not disturb sign on the door tonight, but having said that, that's kind of funny. As soon as I was about to push go live, you'll never guess what I heard. He's out there, you know, watching hockey, whatever he's doing out there, but in his man cave. But I heard the door open to the back of the house, and I started to laugh to myself. I think he has radar. It's adjustable. How? How is your turntable adjustable? Do tell me this secret story of yours. See, you guys are way ahead of me. Yeah, I mean, I watch other creators with their Lazy Susans all the time, and I just never built myself one. And I think I mentioned this in one of my painting tutorials, but I mean, this was so simple to make, and literally I made it myself. And so I just painted my 15-inch round with this guy. So this was a painting tutorial inside our membership group. And then I bought I'm going to show y'all, because you know, if you want to make one, this is just a plastic Lazy Susan from the dollar store. Glued that on the back. Was a little skeptical if it was going to, you know, stay stuck. Just did it glued it with some quick and thick glue, and it's on there. Works perfect. And was no trouble at all to make. It was like bonus. So if you need to make yourself one, get down to the dollar store and get one of those plastic Lazy Susans. Best thing ever. All right, and I'm just going to back this camera up just a smidgen so that I may not cut you off every time I turn this. So these leaves will need a couple coats, so we're going to get that on there relatively quickly, because now that we got all the way around that one side, we can come back and put our second coat on pretty quickly, because this is already dry over here. So we'll just kind of come right back over here and get these based again, and then we can get our flowers based as well. Oh, I see, Karina. I don't have that special lean feature on mine because it's, you know, homemade and all, but that's pretty genius. Tilt it towards you like an easel almost. You got all the fancy toys. I don't have that. Hi, Cheryl. Now you could do these hydrangeas in any color. I did mine sort of in a white, just a white hydrangea. But I mean, you could do, there's so many different colors. Light blue. What other colors of hydrangeas are there? Pinks. I mean, you can make up a color. If they don't exist, you could still make them that color. There's no rules. But we're just going to be doing some white toned ones with a little bit of a blue tinge to them. And the color palette on this is we're going to be using Thicket again as the undertone color for our hydrangeas. So there's not a lot of colors that you need to paint this. You need your 3 green values. I actually have 4 green values sitting out here. Your Hauser, I use Hauser medium, dark, and light. And then I have a little bit of citron green in here that I'll be using. So 4 greens, Thicket, and white. And then we need a little marigold. And that's the only colors that you need for this particular painting. So it's not a huge color palette, which is kind of nice sometimes, that you're not scrambling to look for all different colors. Second coat always goes on a little quicker than the first. And we're just going to put 2 on there because we have so many layers of green that are going on here. I think we'll be okay with just the two coats of green. So I'm going to finish out my leaves before I start my flowers, just so that they're in place and we're not having to mess with them at all. We'll get these dry and then we'll start shading them a little bit with some of the Hauser dark green. Now I do have some leaves that are kind of in the center of the flowers, but I'll put those on last if we have time. These few little leaves that are in here in around, I'll add those as a sort of as a top layer. Thank you, Jeannie, for sprinkling. All right, so let's get our angled brush. We'll get a little bit of the dark green. Get my water accessible here. All right, so we're just going to shade the one side of our leaves with some of this Hauser dark green. So we're going to come along this bottom edge if we get some paint on our brush. Go along this bottom side of this big one. Get started right here. And then right where it sits against this flower. And we'll just move on to the next one. We're just going to go all the way around here. So this one is kind of pointing up, so we're going to get in at the base and where it sits against that flower. Make sure I keep it in the camera for you. Keep forgetting I could turn my thing. All right, we'll go along that flower and then along this bottom edge. I'll bring this back upright so you can kind of see where we're at. So there, so that's our bottom side, and then this one's pointing up, so we're just going to kind of come into the back end of it here. Depending on which way the leaves are going, you want to get the bottom sides, or depending on where your light source would be. That's kind of where I think of when I'm shading is, if the sun was shining up here, then all of this stuff on the bottom and closest to our flowers or whatever we're painting inside would be the darkest. So that's kind of where I determine where I put my shade colors when I'm designing something. So we're going to go along this bottom edge here. And then this would be in closest to the flower and along that bottom edge. What have I been up to lately? Well, a lot of work, a lot of outside day job work. We had one lady unexpectedly, well, I shouldn't say unexpectedly, she retired, and with very short amount of notice, and we were left short one person. We have a couple people out sick or whatever, and so we're short-staffed at work, so picking up some extra stuff there, and just, you know, working weekends there, that kind of sort of thing. So we're getting in close to this flower. We're going to go along this bottom edge. So yeah, just a lot of, you know, not fun stuff, but necessary stuff. That's about it. How about you? Trying to work on some, you know, painting and tutorials and stuff in the background here when I am not sleeping. Just trying to juggle all the things, Terry. That's it. Just trying to juggle all the things. So this one, let me see, what did I do with this one? It's a little weird. I think this one's up in here. You know what, Karina? I think it's kind of just going to be the way that it is. There's such a shortage of technicians right now, pharmacy technicians, that I think it's just going to be what it is. You know, there's a lot of hospitals in our area that are all looking for people. And I think I was talking to one of the girls at work today, and I said, you know, why do I keep getting notices for this one hospital? Are they desperate? And she said, no, they had literally had 4 or 5 people retire at the same time. So that's the problem. I think us old girls, we're getting up there and, you know, starting to leave, and there's not a lot of people left to replace us. So, you know, people need to get to school and become a technician. There's apparently a lot of jobs out there right now. So that's the problem. So we're still going along all these bottom edges. And I'm getting close to that spot too, so, and I know there's a couple other ladies that are, you know, could go anytime if they wanted to, so we'll probably be in the same boat before long. All right, so there we have all sort of the bottom edges. You know, this is funny because this is actually the wrong way. It's supposed to be this way. I get to talking, you know, it's okay. Get to talking. Let's fix this. Put them on the wrong side. This is the upper side. This is the lower side. See, I get all discombobulated with my new turntable. And talking to y'all. Get myself together. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, I will. Sometimes I think it's always when I'm doing a painting, I always show you guys what not to do and then how to fix it. It's not intentional, but it always seems to happen, which in some ways is not a bad thing. But oh, Cheryl, you've been retired 13 years. Time has flown. Wow. That's crazy. 13 years retired. I'm so, like, it's so funny, you know, we work so long and all we think about is like when we get to retire, and then you think, why am I wishing my life away here? Like, I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. It's a strange transition in life, I'll tell you that much. Because when you're just used to getting up and going to work every day, I just don't know. Like, is it going to be a strange thing? I suppose it would be off the start. Maybe I'll get used to it and love it. I don't know. It's, you know, when my mom retired, she was a worker her whole life, and she had a hard time letting it go. She went, you know, part-time for a while, and then once she was completely finished, she said, I wished I'd done it sooner, you know. So weird. I think we just become like little robots sometimes. All right, let's fix my mistake. I can paint full time. Yes, that's true. But you know what? Will I? I don't know. It's weird to know like what I will do with all my time. Like, not that I probably won't be painting at some point. I obviously will, but it'll be a different thing. All right, so let's get the right side of these leaves shaded. So these should be this side, not that top side. Like I said, it's an easy fix, but just sets us back time-wise a little bit. It's okay. Get it together, girl. Get it together. How is my sound on this this program that I'm using? No echoing, no strange things happening. You can hear me all right. I'm just using I don't have my external mic on because I tried to use it when I was testing this last night, use my external mic, and it crashed a little bit on me. So I'm just using the microphone from my laptop. So you tell me what it sounds like. 20 more years till retirement. Oh, Terry, that's a large number. Oh, that's a lot. Don't even want to think about it. I have technically I can go in August. Technically, but I'm not ready to yet, so I don't think I will be. It's good. Thank you, Cheryl. Sound is good. Thank you, Sue. So what did you say? You said that you had no choice. You were ill, Cheryl, when you went. Is what it said. Yeah, sometimes life throws us a curveball and we don't always get the choice, unfortunately. All right, so highlighting, we're going to use a little bit of the light green and a little bit of the citron green. So we'll get the light green on here first. I'm going to get both colors onto my plate so we don't have to mess with that. And then we'll move on to our little flowers. So all the opposite sides of what you shaded will now be highlighted with your lighter color. So this is the Hauser light green. We're just going to get that on there quick like and pull some into the center a bit. A little bit of water on my brush. So basically, like I said, just the opposite sides to where you shaded will be your highlights, which, you know, makes sense when you say it out loud. I didn't fix that one proper, but we're going to go over that dark green where it should be light. And this should be light on this side. Can always go back in and touch that shade up where I messed up there the first time. We're going to keep on moving. All right. This one's kind of a strange. Those ones that are kind of straight up and down, I usually go right, just treat it like dark on the bottom, light on the top. If that makes sense. You're counting down. I did the same thing. I have a little countdown on my phone. And I think it says that I have, well, however many days is left between now and August. And I look at it and I looked at that countdown for so long and it was like in the thousands. Like, I was like, I'll never get there. And now it says something like, you know, I don't know, 80 some days, 80, I don't know what it says right now. But, you know, very few days left. And now I'm thinking, maybe I'll reset that for a year and see if, you know, in a year I'm ready. It's weird. I think it's a little bit of fear too that will I have enough money to live on? You know, like I think that that's my biggest fear is, because your pension money doesn't equal the same amount of money that you're making working. I don't know, girls. I don't know. It'll happen when it happens. Good Lord willing, I'm still here to enjoy it. All right. So there we have that highlights. I'm going to dry this quick because you retired 4 years ago. Yeah, no, it's true. Like when you work in healthcare, and I'm sure that, other jobs are demanding. I mean, I'm not saying they're not, but healthcare it's a tough one, man, especially running short all the time. And it can be a stressful job. A lot of responsibility and mentally taxing that way, but it's exhausting. And I can see how, you know, were you an OR nurse or did you work in like um, CSR or what did you do there? But I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure all departments everywhere feel the same sort of stress. All right, we're going to go into the citron green. And I'm just going to go over top of that light green a little bit. And it's not to, take away from that light green we just put on there, but this is just a little extra color boost sort of thing. I like the citron green. It kind of just pops right out there. Oh yes, housekeeping. I mean, there is a job right there that runs short an awful lot. I know in our hospital it does. It's crazy. And it is a thankless job. You see those ladies there and guys, like we have a lot of guys that are on housekeeping too, but they carry those little portable pager systems and they're called all over the place. Like they just barely get one thing done and then they're being beeped to go somewhere. Ugh. Demanding. It's a demanding thing. And I know we have this one girl that's, kind of in our designated area for the pharmacy, and she's always doing overtime. Always, always. And she always looks tired too. Poor thing. All right, we're almost done these crazy leaves here. Taking us forever because I been a talking and messing up. You know how it goes. You know me. All right, we got a few more minutes. So for our little flower balls, they go pretty quick. So what I'm going to do is take my round brush. I'm going to use some of that Thicket and White. I'm going to turn this plate around so you can see. So there it is right there. Probably a little bit more on the Thicket side or the darker color side. And I'm just going to kind of mix those together. And fill those in. We'll just do these one at a time, get these filled in one at a time. And I'll show you a little trick so that you can see the different areas in between these flowers because they can get sort of lost a little bit all together like this when you start putting your little petals on there. So I will show you here in a moment. So we'll just get these based, sort of like that. These don't have to be fancy. I mean, we're going to have little petals on top of all of these. Momentarily. So this is kind of just our base color. You can see I'm just kind of slip slapping that on there. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be fancy under there because we're not going to see a whole lot of just some of that peeking through when we get our petals on here. All right, so where these meet in here, now you can see them sort of where they are. So you can just take a little bit of that straight up darker color that we're using Thicket, and we're going to just take some of that, and right in here where this one meets, we're going to add just that plain color right along that edge and then down this leaf. And we'll also add some in here. Now you have to determine, you know, which flower's up in front of the other. So this one's kind of in behind. This is the main one that's out front. And this one's kind of in behind here too. And you can always adjust this after, you know, your petals are painted too. So I think what we're going to do, this one will be kind of under there too. Like so. Let's do that. And then you can kind of adjust the other areas as you go. Like you can lighten up, you know, where away from that edge a little bit on here. But I mean, it's not going to really do a whole lot of, make a whole lot of difference because when we're going to be putting our petals on there anyways. But anyways, we'll just, you know, you can kind of mess around with that a little bit. But I do try and make it a little darker on that bottom edge and those inner spots there before I put those on. But like I said, you can always readjust after your petals are on there. Okay, let's dry that. We're going to start some petals. So for our leaves too, I did put a little center vein line down the center of the leaves, which can be added at any time too, just with your liner brush. So basically what I did is I just took my liner, get a little bit of water on my brush here, and just kind of went through, just get this and let this dry while I'm doing that. My dryer's drying my paint on my brush, and just put my center line in. And I kind of went through all of those like so. I need to work on my flowers right now, but we'll get to the rest of that with the vein lines. Okay, I think that should be dry enough. So now you can use, I mean, you can use several different, you can do this several different ways. You can use a small flat brush to do your petals. You can use a filbert brush to do your petals. I kind of go between using my filbert and my little angled brush. And I usually just get a feel for how it's feeling for me that day. So we're just going to go for it. So let's go. Let's say we're going to take a little bit of white and a little bit of that. We're going to start with our angled brush and see how that works out. A little bit of thicket, a little bit of white on your brush. And I'm just going to start out here at the edge. And you're just going to do, let's see if I can zoom in a smidge. You're just going to do kind of like little C strokes with the, you can do the C strokes with a flat brush or the angled brush. Now with my filbert, I kind of do it differently, but we're going to start with this. So they're kind of, you can go in kind of different directions with these. So they're not all kind of going the same way, but we're just going to keep adding like little C strokes in there. Now it takes a little bit longer for me to do them with this brush. I'll show you here in a second the filbert. And it's all just, you know, preference of what you want in your hand that I find, you know. Let's get some like this. You see how it just sort of starts coming together there. Like I only have 1 minute left, but I'm going to stay a little bit longer just to get this one flower done so you can see what it looks like. And all the rest will be the same. So, but I want to finish one. But you can see how the petals sort of start to come together. And hydrangeas sort of have a petal that has 4. They go in 4s. 4 petals per little flower that comes out on this little ball. Now, you can strive to get 4 together if you want to, but that's up to you. But nobody's going to sit and count them. Whether there's 4 in a group or not. On your painting, I mean. So we'll get them in place, and then you can come back. You see how they sort of fade out a little bit, and then you can add a little bit more to them once they dry and they brighten up. The white sort of fades out on you a smidge. Let's see, we'll put one here. Well, that's looking good. Looking good. Kind of get your flow going there. And it starts to come together. So little C strokes like that. And then once once we'll put our little dots in here, like our little center dots in our flowers, once we get all of these petals on here. And I've seen ladies that paint these and they go so fast. I kind of like, I think about it too much because I want my petals to look the way I want them to look. So, I mean, you don't have to be rushing it, but, you know, try not to think about it too much. Don't stress over it by any means. But once you get going, I think you could probably, you know, get a little faster with the painting of these petals. I'm being a little meticulous right now because I want you to get the full kind of effect of how to do this. So this one, remember, is kind of sitting on top. Ooh, that's lovely. I like that. It's looking good. It's looking even better than my original one that I did. So I did the original with my filbert brush, and I think I'm liking this better with my angled brush. So there again, trial and error. Okay. So there's one hydrangea right there. And I'm, like I said, I think I like the way the angled brush allows you to see that little bit of blue that's kind of peeking in the back there. So I'm just going to go over these a little bit. You know, you can add a little bit more of a white edge to these where they faded out. So once that white dries, it tends to do that. So you can come back in and touch any of these up that you want. I think that looks pretty good. I don't think I have to mess with this too much. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to overwork it either. So let's just say that flower is done. So you're just going to carry on and do your other three just the same way. But for the centers, I used a little bit of marigold. This one's almost empty, but I'm just going to use my stylus. And I think, you know, you can determine with your eye, sort of determine what would be the center of some of these flowers. So I'm going to say this is one. So we'll just put a few little yellow dots in the center of that one. And you don't have to do every one of these. You know, just give that illusion that we have the center of these little, and I just put one in some, I put 2 or 3 in another, just randomly. Space them out wherever you like. Let's see, one's there. I'm going to put one over here. But yeah, so that's it. That's a special little hydrangea painting for y'all. I'm going to finish this before I go to bed tonight because I just like to see it finished. But again, don't forget your little vein lines in. And I also want to get the line drawing up for you guys too, so you can give it a try. So you put your little vein lines in all of your leaves, and that's with the dark green, like so. So who's giving it a whirl? Who's going to try it? Like I said, even if you don't grab my line drawing, just draw us, you know, a wiggly line circle, a few leaves, and give it a try. It's a fun one. All right, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll leave the links on this post I'll post them after I get off of here if you do want to grab the line drawing. And thank you, Cheryl. Let me see, I like the result you're getting with the angle brush. I've always used filbert. Yeah, so let me just show you the difference. So this was with my filbert, this was with my angled brush, and I think I like this better. So with the, I'm just going to show you, and I'm going to show you on this backer piece of paper because I'm not going to mess with these paintings at all, because I think I'm going to continue on with my angled brush because I liked that. So with the filbert, it's just got that little rounded edge, right? So what I would do is just literally push down and pull up like this to make my little petals. And in doing that, like, you just kind of pull them in like that and do your petals like that. And that's what I did with this one. But with this one, you can see the blue kind of blend underneath that, which we don't have blue on here, but when I used my angled brush, by doing that, you see how that little C stroke, you can kind of see how it fades out here in the center. So in there, you would see that blue popping out, or whatever color your base color is. But yeah, I think I like that much better. So that's the difference of the two. All right, what else have you said before I leave? Yes, it would make a pretty card, Sue. All right, I think that's it. Okay. So we'll leave that there for a second. And like I said, I'll put the link up for the line drawing. It'll be in these Craft Around the Clock treats. It'll only be $2.50 Canadian, $2 US. So it's cheap. And it will also be in the VIP group for free. All right. Thank you, Terry. Enjoyed hanging out with you guys too. All right. We're going to sign off and we'll see you all soon.